Part 4. Shattered Reflections. David stood up, his jaw clenched. I need to find out the truth, once and for all. Are you with me? Sharon stared at him, the love she had felt for him fighting against a storm of confusion and fear. But something deep inside told her this wasn't over, that the truth they had uncovered was only the beginning. With a deep breath, Sharon nodded. I'm with you. Days later, Sharon stared at the ceiling of her room, the weight of everything pressing down on her chest. Her mother's secret adoption of David, her father's abandonment, the tangled web of betrayal. It was all too much. Her phone buzzed. It was David. I found something else. Meet me at the place we used to go. She almost didn't go. Maybe it was better to leave the past buried, but curiosity and lingering connection she couldn't shake drove her out the door. The cafe was nearly empty when Sharon walked in. David was sitting at their usual booth, looking pale and worn. When he saw her, he stood up. I didn't want to drag you into this, he said, his voice low, but I think you need to know the truth about everything. Sharon hesitated. There is more, she asked, her voice barely audible. David slid a folder across the table toward her. I hired a private investigator, he confessed. I had to know more about my biological parents, about why they gave me up. Sharon opened the folder. Inside were pages of reports, photos, and letters. Old crumpled letters addressed to her mother from her father. These letters, David said, swallowing hard, reveal that your mother knew where he was all along. He never just abandoned you. He tried to come back for you. Sharon's hands shook as she read the letters. Her father had written to her mother, begging to see Sharon, to explain his side of the story. But her mother had never told her any of this. She had painted him as the villain, the man who had walked out on them without a word. David continued, his voice strained. Your mother kept those letters hidden because she was angry. Angry that he left her for my mother. She didn't want you to know the truth. She adopted me out of guilt, Sharon. She knew I was his son, but she never wanted you to know he tried to come back. Tears blurred her vision as the truth hit her in waves. All the pain she had carried, all the hatred for the men she never knew, it had been built on lies. And there's more, David said, his voice barely above a whisper. I think our father, he's still alive. Sharon froze, her breath catching in her throat. What? David nodded, his eyes wide. I've tracked him down. He's living under a different name, in a small town a few hours from here. But before Sharon could process this, the cafe door swung open, and her mother walked in, her eyes wide in panic. She had clearly overheard everything. Sharon, you can't see him, her mother pleaded, her voice trembling. Please, don't go down this path. There are things you don't understand.
Want Part 5? Check out my page.